please, could we have it back?
And they
please,
asked for that.
because they have no. We
they
were
did
talking.
ask for it.
No, and
they said,
I gave
"Can you
them
give the
some,
documents back?"
And we were talking.
And then they said they went to DOJ to subpoena you to get them
which
back.
they've never done before.
Right.
And in
but
all
why not
fairness,
just hand them over then?
Because I had boxes. I want to go through the boxes and get all my personal things out. I don't want to hand that over to Nara yet. And I was very busy, as you've sort of seen.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the first time they've ever subpoenaed anyone. Yes, they never had to before. When you make an unprecedented time happen, you can't just point to the fact that we're in unprecedented times as a defense. But that is Donald Trump saying, and I believe this is the most detail he's gone into in terms of his, I was gonna give the documents back, but I didn't want to yet. I was too busy. And admittedly, he did have a very busy schedule for the year or two after he lost the presidential election. He was playing a lot of golf. He was interrupting a number of weddings and eating a lot of beautiful cake, the best chocolate cake. So how could he be expected to return the documents in a timely fashion? But he goes more in depth into what was filling those boxes in this clip.
But according to the indictment, you then tell this aide to move to other locations after telling your lawyers to say you'd fully complied with the subpoena when you hadn't.
But before I send boxes over, I have to take all of my things out. These boxes were interspersed with all sorts of things. Golf shirts, clothing, pants, shoes. There were many things. I would say much more, not that I know of, but everything was declassified. And Biden didn't have the right to do that because he wasn't president. Nor did Mike Pence, by the way, have the right to do that because he wasn't president.
Right, I'm not gonna.
What? Okay, there's a lot of competing nonsense in there, but he says, I didn't give them back because I didn't want to hand over my golf pants or whatever his excuse is. He is making clear in that interview, I know that I was required to give them back. I wanted more time. By the way, the intro question in that second video is, you told them you had complied and you hadn't. And he says, yeah, I had pants. I had a golf shirt or whatever. He is admitting to knowingly violating that subpoena with Bret Baier right there. I know that there's a lot that's funny, Francesca, and we will have fun or whatever, but he is acknowledging knowledge of the crime that he committed there. And coming up with a BS excuse for it, that part's irrelevant. He admitted that he did it. What do you think?
It is very clear that Donald Trump is lacking legal counsel at the moment to tell him, do not go on to Fox News right now without your buddy Tucker, who's going to softball everything. Do not, please do not, and do not say anything about the documents. This is make it a campaign thing, make it about your presidency. Like, it's just, it's hard to watch, and the hardest part is that guy's gonna be the nominee for the Republican Party, and he might win the presidency. Ergo, like sort of evading most of this, pardoning himself. But I love also him saying like, they weren't the president. Mike Pence, Joe Biden had documents. They weren't the president. Sir, do you realize the president cannot just do anything that they want? Do you understand that? Okay, let's just make sure. Also, by the way, Biden and Pence, there you go. Biden and Pence gave back the documents when they were asked for the documents back. You, on the other hand, were like, I don't know, there might be vibrators in with the, I keep all of my toys in the dungeon. He doesn't have a dungeon, but you know what I'm saying.
A lot of the boxes that they gave back, Trump's thing blew up, so they started willingly going and looking for documents to hand over. They were not, the FBI was not closing in on their home. And they also didn't have documents of the sort that he stole. And not just
Biden did the whole teacher, you forgot to give us homework. Like he looked for extra classified stuff to turn over.
Yeah, and seemingly the worst stuff that Donald Trump stole is the stuff that he kept after multiple rounds of lying to the authorities that he'd given them back. All of this just looks terrible.
Check Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.